com.
Friday. Hopefully everybody's doing well and having a great Friday, and got something really cool set up for their weekend. Again, we got some stuff for you if you're looking for things to do. We got stuff for you to do. I want to thank the folks from Beatrice Bakery for sponsoring this show. They've got. I want you to just if you have somebody that you care about and you want to change their day, right? That you actually you want to make sure that they smile. You want to make sure that they know that somebody's thinking about them, and then you want to do it in a way that's unique. Beatrice Bakery would be a really good stop. Get on your internet, jump to BeatriceBakery.com. Whether it's chocolate cakes, breakfast breads, liqueur cakes, bundles, they got fruit cakes, of course, grandma's fruit cake, chocolate cakes, everything. And I mean to tell you, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Now, the liqueur cakes, we had some of the chocolate rum liqueur cake yesterday, and whoop, there it is. Really good. But they got amaretto cake, they've got lemon drop cake, they've got chocolate merlot, which is what we gave to Miss Nebraska. They got a premium lemon drop liqueur cake, and then the strawberry daiquiri I had a sample of as well. Yes to all of them. There's a pina colada cake, and then the premium vanilla rum. Those are just ideas. Things that you can do for people that you care about. In a time and space where people are struggling and some folks are having bad days, it's an opportunity for us to do something for somebody else. And these are small things that will benefit. And I think everybody will be happy. As a matter of fact, find you somebody that likes the apple streusel coffee cake and share it with them. Take it to work on Monday. Yeah, do that. Grandma's turtleneck cake. Do that. You take that to work, you're going to be the most popular person there. Just some ideas, just some thoughts for the folks at Beatrice Bakery. Also, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, you want to hang out with some of the folks from the Ticket and some Huskers, come on down. Upside Barn Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake. It's their launch party. It'll be from 5 to 7. We'll probably get there around 4:30 to set up so we can broadcast. We'll do a live broadcast from there. I'll go from 5 o'clock until 6, and then CJ Wilcher and Kobe Webster will go from 6 to 7 with the truth. Come on out, take some pictures, meet these folks, and you'll get some idea of why there's some excitement around the athletic department. You got some good folks in the athletic department. We've got several athletes that are going to come and just hang out, and they've got really good food. It's free food, right? Free giveaways, jerseys, etc. We'll have some 937 The Ticket stuff there. You guys can stop by and grab it. And for those of you who are interested in the 937 The Ticket, VIP club, those bumper stickers might be a good thing to have here in the next week or so. Just saying. Just saying. You might want to do it. A lot of what's been bounced around on the internet has been conversation about the NBA and the NBA 75 best players in NBA history. And of course, there's like bouncing back and forth on it. You guys know how to reach me, 402-464-5685. You can call the Honda Lincoln hotline, or you can text in to the Sartor Hamann text line. You also can jump on the Sartor Hamann video stream. I've got on, and if you can get to the stream, I've got on some new ticket swag. We're trying to sample some things, but got the nice new logo on the hat, got the nice new logo on the pullover. Looks like kind of money. We'll figure out some things that we're going to do with that stuff. But jump in and let me know your thoughts. Whether there was Cupsker, yeah, you're right. He says, having grown up in Wymore, Beatrice, I can say you can never go wrong with Beatrice Bakery. They make every holiday better, and that's and they're great for holidays, but they're also not just for holidays. Like I said, every day is a good opportunity to do something for someone you care about, even yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to some handmade local. I mean, the rest of the country is already on the Beatrice Bakery. I mean, it's been, whether it's from CBC, it's been on I'm on QVC. It's been everywhere. It's been on TV. but sometimes the people at home need to know and need to think of themselves a little bit. So the NBA snubs, and folks, here's the problem with what the NBA. It was great marketing because they were very unspecific about why they were putting it out. I mean, it's the 75th anniversary, but there were no parameters. Like when people are going to argue who the best 75 players are, it's not just the 75 best scorers. It's not just the 75 best defenders. It's not the 75 players who won the most championships. It's not any of those things. It's all of those things. And I said, if you're going to do this, you should probably set some boundary, some rule for when you have these best of talks. Like if you want to talk about the best players in Nebraska football history. Some people would say, well, you've got to consider the number of rings. Well, that's not always how you would pick it, because there are players who were here for 3 years when the rest of the team was really good. And while they contributed, they aren't the reason why they won those 3 rings. Now they should be considered among the greats, but if you had to pick the best 25 Husker football players, there's some folks who had great success who will be left off the list. Right? I mean, would be left off the list. I mean, if you talked about, the best coaches in Nebraska history, while national championships should play, they may have done more work to get where they are than not winning championships. That winning conference championships may have been a greater accomplishment than the national championships that other folks won. And then you've got to give consideration for where they started from as well, not just where they ended up. From the text line, did you know that Beatrice Bakery is the largest purchaser of alcohol in the state of Nebraska? It's a fact. It is, in fact. On my tour, they had these barrels, barrels. These are barrels, plastic barrels or metal containers, vats of alcohol, rum, brandy, etc. And I just walked in and I just wanted to hug them. And thank them for all the good that they do, all the yumminess they provide. So yeah, it is. Beatrice Bakery is in fact the largest purchaser of alcohol in the state of Nebraska. That is a statement of truth. So folks in the 75 went up and down. And of course, everybody has their favorite player that they feel like got snubbed. Like, here's the person that, should have been on the list, but it's not on the list. I'll go up and down and put, and it's, and you have to say this before you do these lists. Just because you're not one of the top 75 doesn't mean that you're not one of the top 100. Like you're not, it has to say that you can be one of the best players of all time and still not be one of the 75 best players of all time. I mean, there are guys who were left off the list. I just kind of went, ugh. Now the question would be, if you're one of the 75 best, at some point, shouldn't you have been the best player in the game? Or the best player on the best team in the game? Can the story of the NBA be told without you, without mentioning you? And I think this is what some people are basing this on. But can you tell the story of NBA and of NBA basketball? And this is the NBA. This is not just college. This is right. So some guys like Ralph Sampson who are known, who didn't have that level of success in the NBA, wouldn't make the list, but they were part of the great players ever. But within the league, Tiny Archibald was a great small player. I mean, he had 30 plus years. It's a problem. They had some issue with young players, the players who you haven't spent a decade in the league yet, and then you want to put them into this greatest ever. Okay, well, if they are generational players currently who have only been in the league for less than 10 years, I think 5 years would be a fair boundary to set. If you haven't been in the league more than 5 years, it's kind of hard to dub you as one of the greats. We had that conversation before. We had it about LeBron. We had it about Kevin Garnett. There's several folks that you had this about. And then where does championships fall into this? Are championships necessary? Are they mandatory? No, probably not. But there are a lot of great players, who also won championships. So you've got to consider them. And again, the thing is that it's 75. It's the top 75. Like if you're player 80, you're still one of the great players to ever do it. Unfortunately, in this argument, some of the number 80 might be number 80 might be. Let's go through a little of this. Dwight Howard. Let's say Dwight Howard. Where would you put Dwight Howard? Amongst the bigs that are on this list, based on parameters that whoever it is sets, you've got to ask these questions, right? Tracy McGrady, to me, changed the way the game was played. Tony Parker did not. Dikembe Mutombo is easily one of the top 10 defenders in NBA history. Klay Thompson is one of the 10 best shooters. Jokic is not enough yet. Alonzo Mourning, from a professional, from a championship success level, he falls short. But for what he actually did, Manu Ginobili. At what point was Manu the best player in basketball, or one of the five best players in basketball? Like these all NBA teams, like you should have, in order to be on this list, you have to be a several-time all NBA player. Like if you couldn't get to all NBA, then you can't be on this list. All right? I mean, I think that's a fair thing. Pau Gasol, not enough. More of a, he falls in the really good category. Vince Carter, his highlights and his longevity put him in a certain space. Part of the conversation. Derrick Rose, without the injuries, is in, but not in the space that we're talking about. Dwight Howard and Tracy McGrady and Mutombo are the three that are the most interesting to me when you talk about folks that should have been considered. Penny, yeah, I think Penny Hardaway. You got to remember, Penny was generational in that having that 6'9" point guard following Magic, like he was the next one of that group. He and Jalen, and Penny and Shaq, when they went to Orlando, that shifted the entire balance of the entire NBA. Penny was a problem. People forget. I mean, Dwight Howard and Penny. You look. People forget that 6-year run where Dwight Howard was Superman and the best player in the league. Right? That's not hyperbole. That's not a reach. That's Dwight Howard defended in the NBA and shut down entire looks that NBA teams wanted to do against them. I mean, he was the face of the league for 6 years. Let's not forget that. I mean, in a time where there were some dudes around him. So let's not forget that that's a part of the conversation. Drew, thank you for the compliment. He says, I'm watching on Twitch. And now that new jacket looks nice. That's what we're looking for. Ellis, go ahead and have a good nap, bro. He says Dwight Howard was never the face of the league. James was. Yeah, actually he was. I mean, an entire All-Star weekend was built around Dwight Howard and his commercial and him jump. Like you're talking about, the commercial game is a part of this, and branding matters in this thing because that's what the NBA, it's a big part of the NBA. And it's not just Dwight. I mean, some would say Vince Carter, for what he did in the dunk game, should be on the list. So, like, I like the idea that the NBA did it and they went through and tried to honor 75 best players. If somebody said Dwight Howard and Penny Hardaway and Vince Carter were one of the top 100 players, nobody would really be upset. But even if you set the number at 100, there'd be people that would be upset. So there's that. And again, I like the list. What I love about the list is that it took time to pay to give homage to guys like Rick Barry, who often get forgotten. Talk about Dave Bing, Hal Greer, Billy the Kid Cunningham, Billy, the Kangaroo Kid, Dave DeBuscher, and his traditional Knicks back in the day. I was a little bit, I was impressed because that Knick team had DeBuscher, Frazier, Earl the Pearl Monroe, and Willis Reed on this list, because that's who they were in that time and space. I'm actually surprised there aren't more Celtics in the old regime in this thing. But they honored guys like Jerry Lucas, long range shooter at 6'10", I believe, back in the day. And of course, Pete Maravich, what he did in Atlanta as much as, and then New Orleans before the injuries took over. George Mikan, of course, if you know basketball, it's a handful of drills that are named after him. And there's a reason why. Bob Pettit, of course, back in the force of the game. Guys like Lenny Wilkins. They played in soft Converse, but they could still play. Bill Walton, who, again, changed the direction and trajectory of the league when he was with Portland for those 3 years before his injury. Wesley Unseld, of course, one of the great rebounders and passers in NBA history, a great defender for undersized. Nate Thurman is a big that people forget about. And then Bill Sharman as a player was pretty exceptional. Dolph Shea is, again, another big back in the day. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity for folks to go back and learn the history of the game, and it's a good bit of marketing and branding. But I'm also interested in that next 25. Iverson is on the list. So, and again, Iverson never won the chip, but there was a time when, again, they made rules strictly because Allen Iverson was in the league. I think that's a big part of this thing. So we'll do that. For the rest of the show, and I have to repeat it enough. I have to repeat this enough. The text line is, you guys are always, again, say what you say. You have the freedom to do that. Programming, I got. The programming, yeah, I'm pretty good with that. We're just trying to give you folks something other to think about, because you've talked all day about this, the place where this program is and this team is. That's not going to change. I'm not going to ask for anybody to be fired. I'm only going to ask for them to figure out how to win. I have no darts to shoot at anybody. I'm not saying that there's one part of this game that part of this team that's better than the other. No, that's been said. It's been said. You guys know where this program stands. It's 3-5. Right? 3-5. Simple business. Missed opportunities. We'll look at games tomorrow, and we'll look at the teams that are playing, teams that we've played, and teams we've yet to play, and we'll evaluate them and try to figure out, oh my God, is Purdue legit? Was Illinois as bad as we thought? Does Northwestern figure out a way to win? Are we the worst team in the Big Ten West? But all of that doesn't change what happens here on campus and at practice. None of that is going. What everybody else is doing is irrelevant to what's happening here in Lincoln. The only thing that matters here is what those 150 players and that staff decides they're going to do from Sunday until Saturday morning. And for what it's worth, we have no idea. That's a statement of truth. So I'm not going to speculate what they're going to do this weekend. I'm going to wait until Monday when they tell me what they're going to do. That's fine. I'll wait 4 days. And then the thing that they tell us, we will measure it against what's already happened. Is that a thing that you told me before in this situation? Does it sound similar? Or does it sound like you've made changes? We've talked to the players. You heard the players. The players feel like, you know what? We're doing exactly what's asked of us. We're doing it as well as we can do it. We're busting our tails. You heard it directly from the players. Now, if coach tells you that, then okay, we got another conversation to have. But the players, I'm not going to dog these players, and I'm not going to dog the coaching staff. 3-5 is 3-5. Look, There's nothing I can say about this team being 3-5 that those coaches aren't staring in the face, in the mirror, every day, all day, every day. Then the question is it so unappealing to them? Is it so unattractive to them that they decide to do something different, to fix it? To fix it. Like, you ask each coach, are you working at 100% capacity? If the answer is yes, then you know what? You need to hit another button. We need to, then maybe it's more time. Maybe it's a change of perspective. Maybe we need to look at each other. Maybe I'll have you scout a different group on the team. Maybe that'll clear some of the goop that's blocking you from getting from 3 wins to 5. Again, look, nobody knows more about their situation than Scott Frost. He has heard more than he needs to hear about it. And he is constantly and consistently him. Do you think he's going to change this weekend? You think Scott Frost is going to be a different dude on Sunday? He going to be a different dude on Monday? No, Scott Frost is going to do what Scott Frost do. Until he doesn't. When that happens, we'll be here to report it. In the meanwhile, we can sit back and look at the record, and we can look at the schedule and look at the 8 games that have been played. We can look at the stats from those things, which we have done at infinitum. Broken it down for you, giving you film study. Can look at the film. Can look at Purdue. I've already looked at Purdue. I've scouted Purdue 3 times. Tell you what they run, when they run it, and how they run it. What gives them a problem. But you know what? I don't call plays. This just simply gives me balance for what I'm watching. So I understand what I'm seeing. And if I have questions about a thing, then I share those questions. On a Friday of a bye week, I don't have any questions. I don't. I really don't. Like, I'll look at games tomorrow. And then, more importantly, I'll look at Purdue. I'll look at their game on Saturday. But I'm not beating that dirty rug all day. Why do that? Why do that to yourself? We all want the same thing for this program. Right? We all want the same thing for this program. Some are defending different things in the program, and some are attacking different things in the program. And you're all entitled to feel how you feel about it. I simply ask in this space that you come to me with information about why you feel that way. Oh, we're going to be fine. What says you're going to be fine? What says you're going to be fine? What says that you're not okay? Because there are people who say we're not okay. Right? Like, I get saying we want to see, in this perfect example, Red Rowell says, I want to see, I'm sick of the hot seat talk for football. See, there are people that want that talk, and there are people that are sick of it. He goes on to say, Coach Frost is definitely on the hot seat, but I don't think he's the main fuel for this dumpster fire. Okay, who is? Who affects more of this program than Scott Frost does? Who is the major decision maker for all things this football team? Literally everything on this football team. There's one decision maker. There's one person responsible for it. So how can you say that he's not the main fuel for it? And if he's not, he better become a fireman over the weekend and figure out how to put it out. Like to say, well, there's a dumpster fire going on, but we don't know how to fix it. Oof. That's the job. The job is to fix it. Put the fire out. Understand where it comes from and make sure it never happens again. And it's been on fire for a while. He goes further. He said, I want to see a new assistant or 2 on offense. Who? Then ask the question that people ask about Scott Frost. Well, if you remove Scott Frost, who would you bring in? Well, who's going to run the offense? Who's going to run the groups that are of issue? Right now. Like, literally right now, walk in the door into that building and be able to get this program redirected right now so they can show up on Sunday and fix it. You know who's in the best place to fix it? The people who are there, who are paid to do the job right now. And then if they show you that they can't do the job, well, then you have a different discussion. 3 and 5 is 3 and 5. And you have 8 days until it's beat Purdue. And if you don't, guess what? You're going to have the same discussion the following Monday. How do I know that? Because you've done it every week so far. This is a week-to-week project. Fans of the program want wins. Some fans of the program who want wins want this thing to happen now. Some are okay for it to happen whenever, whoever, because I feel warm and fuzzy about who's losing. But I like them. Oh, I like them too. Still want to win. We'll change the conversation. I'll bring in former UNLV great Everett Gray. We can talk all things sports with Everett because he's been around it. Listening to 101.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories this fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artisan cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com. Proud sponsors of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska really needs to make sure they don't go down as the best team to not make a bowl game.
Think about some of the guys that wouldn't, if they don't end up in a bowl game, that wouldn't go to a bowl game. I mean, Adrian, perhaps he could come back next year.
JoJo Doman.
But yeah, the guys on like the two safeties. I mean, that would be horrible.
I know.
That'd be awful.
Because this team is absolutely good enough to be in a bowl.
Yeah, they're a bowl team.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Take your tan to the max at Max Tan and tan for a can every day through the month of October. Bring in a can of food for the food bank and get a free tan from Max Tan. See maxtan.net for details. Tan for a can every day in October, only at Max Tan.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and local friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Cartridge World. Contact us today.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, I saw on television you have more than 500 new Hondas in stock or on the way. Now, I'm sure the listeners would like to hear more about that.
Well, Charlie, it's true. We have truckloads of new Hondas arriving just about every day. What's different is you won't see them on the lot very long because most all of them are pre-sold. And that's what we're encouraging all of our customers to do is get in here, get their order in as soon as possible.
Well, tell me, Andy, will they have to wait long?
Not really. It could be a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but not long at all. So I really invite everyone to come on out and experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Thank you, Andy. Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Beatrice Bakery on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here's a guy that gives them more depth at UNLV, Everett Gray. He brings 9 points off the bench for Coach Tarkanian in less than 20 minutes of play in a game. Here he'll have a chance. Oh, as he goes up for the dunk, Miller takes a piece of the arm. Two on Miller now. Team foul number 5. Here's another basketball player with a baseball background. He was a third-round pick of the Astros in '87 was Everett Gray.
Let's bring him in. Old man Everett Gray. Let's bring him in. How you doing? How you doing, brother?
Tough crowd. Tough crowd right off the bat. Tough right there. No little.
That's not tough.
Warning Andrew Galata around here.
Right? Like that. straight to the jaw. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this on a Friday. A lot's going on again in sports, so it's interesting. I wanted to ask you, because you being around great programs, like you've seen great programs and you've seen not great programs. UNLV had depth, right? You guys had your second 5 probably could have won the conference that you guys were playing in. Right? Like that's a fair statement. So you need depth and you need answers when you're trying to build a good program. And I'm going the long route to get to a question about Tarkanian. Was Tark responsible for everything that happened in the program?
Him and Coach Tim Gergovich was the two, I guess you want to say, the two leaders of the UNLV program. The thing is that Tark had his hands on everything, but he did delegate some of his responsibility to people he trusts. And that's the main thing about running a program. Because I used to hear him say sometimes, I'm only good as my assistants, and definitely only good as my players. And he knew that. And that's what he stressed a lot, because I was nosy all the time, because I knew I wanted to get into coaching, so I wanted to pay attention to what he said and kind of pick his brain, because he didn't really say that much, but when he said something, everybody paid attention.
With that, if something goes wrong, so when you had your win streak broken, what was the following day at practice like?
Well, you got to realize, DP. So my sophomore year, we lost at Duke. We were 35-1 or 34-1 or whatever we were. So that last game, our last game was our last game.
Okay.
So going into the season, his last year, which was my junior year, he really didn't discuss anything about, because remember, we always played deep into the tournament. So if we lost or we either won, the game's over. So there's nothing to talk about. But I can go back to when we finally lost a game to Rutgers in Piscataway, New Jersey, in overtime. Yeah, he let us have it after that, and we switched up a lot of stuff. And he just explained, he gave everybody their role, and if you didn't like it, he'd transfer. You know, back then he was just like, if you don't like it, this is your role, transfer. But if you play hard and play the right way, you will play. And so that Rutgers, after we lost to Rutgers, we went on and beat. We ended up running like 25 in a row, and we couldn't go to the tournament. DP, remember that year we were third in the country. We were 28-2. We lost to Rutgers and Missouri that year with Anthony Keeler.
Mm-hmm.
And we were 28-2, made it all the way to the third ranked team in the country, but we couldn't go to the tournament. And then the Big West tournament towards the end was like, you guys can't even go to the tournament, the conference tournament, because all you're going to do is take a bid away from someone else who you're going to, obviously going to win. And we didn't lose I didn't lose a conference game for 2 years. It was like 2.5 years. 3.5 years. I didn't lose a conference game.
See, we're trying. But that's right. Like that's a part of, and a part of the humor in this. Nebraska football falls firmly into that time frame and that sort of dominance. And then now, if I asked you about UNLV's basketball program, you would shake your head, scratch it, and then try to find an answer about why it is in the shape that it's in now.
Right.
What is the thing that you think needs to happen at UNLV for it to be the UNLV that it used to be?
You need to, I've been, me, D, I've been trying to get, I pull for all of my sports at UNLV, even though, we're not doing too well in all of our sports except baseball. But the thing is, and volleyball had a good season this year, but the thing is, replacing a legend is always hard. It's iffy. There was some lean years after Tark retired, just like Osborne retired. They had some good. I don't think they should have fired Solich, but we're not going to get into that. So, I'm a DP. I like all sports. I'm a fan of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that with replacing a legend, sometimes the expectations of the next coach is hard, and people live in the past, and those past is not going to come back. It's just not. You got to live in reality at one point, and you need to hire the right guy that wants to be there. The last guy, TJ, he didn't want to be there. He wanted to be at Iowa State. He finally got there. His wife went there. He kind of coached there for a while. Everybody knew that, and she hired him anyway. And we knew he was only going to be there for a couple of years, and obviously that guy was terrible. The guy he replaced, they only won like 4 games. So you got to get somebody that wants to be there, a young with a lot of energy, and I think they probably did with Kevin. Now, Kevin's never been a head coach, Kevin Kruger.
Right.
So we'll see what we got to give Kevin a shot. I know his dad will be behind the scenes helping a little bit, Lon Kruger.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that with Nebraska football, I think they did it the right way. They tried to go back into their past. But when they went to a pass, they went to a guy that ran the same stuff as Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, you have to spread the ball. Everybody is spreading the ball a little bit. Now, if you want to be competitive, Nebraska, you got to go get some dudes from Florida that can run. You got to go get some dudes from Florida. You got to get some. Now you got to convince them. Don't mind the cold winter months, but you're going to be playing on this big stage. But you got to, whoever's recruiting, they need to recruit Florida, California, and Texas. And hopefully they can get some guys there. But you got to adjust to the times, just like with basketball, like stretch 5, stretch 4s, driving. Nobody really post up anymore. Like more guys are skilled now. So just like with football, I mean, you got to spread the ball and run the ball. Not run the ball, but spread the ball out and shotgun. And those days are over. Even SC is not going to student body right to left anymore.
Right.
They got Clovis in the back, not even under center anymore. So you have to adjust to the times and hire a guy that can actually coach that style of football that you guys are looking for.
We're talking Everett Gray, former NBA played with the great UNLV teams, is now a coach and an athletic director in Utah. So as you manage this stuff, right, when let's say that you're in the building and a program is struggling, you generally try to keep your hands out of other people's soup until the soup is bad, right? Then you've got to step up and say, all right, okay, we either got to fix the soup or we got to serve something else. For you, what's a line that would be in place that you would say, you know what, I got to change it. We need to change a coach for this program because this program's not good.
Well, you already know, DP, when money talks,
right?
So if nobody's showing up in boosters. When boosters start complaining, that's when you're in trouble as a coach, and you need to start trying to figure stuff out. Just like what Boone did. Boone knew the baseball coach. He knew the Yankees coach. He knew he was under the fire, so he fired 3 guys. So he thinks that's changing. That's going to make a difference for him. But the thing is that when you see it coming, it's basically on what's booster saying, alumni saying, and the money people behind that. It seems like Nebraska still gets a lot of support for their program. But I mean, eventually they want to get back to the glory days, but it's going to take a minute until they get the right guy in there. I don't know if Scott is the right guy. I like Scott. I watched him when I was younger. I mean, when he was in college, those teams were great, but them days are over, and you have to adjust, like I said before. And when the boosters start chiming in, and that money start going away, and then that's when you make a change.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's been my thought, is that as long as the bank account is good, they're not going to move. And if people are still supporting it, people still going to games. I mean, they've got the sellout streak and 90,000 since 1962, right? You got all this stuff in place. Right. But ultimately, at some point, wins have to happen. And for you, when you're watching this thing, if somebody loses in year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, what becomes the focus? Is it that money is still coming in, or is it that wins aren't happening?
It's a little bit of both, DP, but it's when it comes down to it, it's money and how the program is being ran, how the morale around the program, and if talk radio, you can pay attention. I'm pretty sure some people are fired up, either for Scott Frost or against. Either way, some people are fired up, and everybody's I'm pretty sure they really want Nebraska back on the map. They're not looking at Nebraska going 7-4 or 6-4 and playing in the potato, the Inside Bowl. Right. They don't want that. Right. And I think once those things start happening, when you're playing in the Inside Bowl and you're Nebraska, and you're okay with that, then that's a problem. You shouldn't be okay with that being Nebraska, because everybody knows the history of Nebraska. But we're not going to get into Frank Solich thing. Did I just say that again, DP? Yeah. I didn't say that.
Because it's all true. It's all true. All right, so before we let you go, the NBA 75, give me your 2 biggest snubs. Give me 2 people that shouldn't be there on the list and 2 people that should have been on the list.
Ooh, DP. I don't think Tracy McGrady I think Tracy McGrady should have been on there. People making a big stink over Bill Walton. Bill was nice. If Bill didn't have feet problems or foot problems, I don't know. I think he had both of his wheels are messed up.
Yep.
People complaining about Bill, but I think Klay Thompson should be on there because of the simple fact that people don't realize, if you watch the game, that's why Klay took the pressure off Steph, because Steph couldn't guard DP right now. No offense, DP.
Stop it.
But
Stop it.
But he can't defend. But Klay took that away.
Yeah.
Because he was a great 2-way player. He can score and he can defend. So that's one of them. Bill. People hating on Bill, but I think he should be on there. I mean, if it was a top 100, I would definitely have Tracy McGrady and Klay Thompson on that. But this is why they have these for debate. I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfect for us to talk about it, and it's great. I don't know. Is Ben Wallace on there?
Ben Wallace did not make the list.
See, I'm an underdog. I like Ben. He was my teammate with the Wizards when he first got to the league. And he took care of me when I got hurt. But there's just a bunch of guys. But to be in the top 100 or 75 is great. But there's going to be some guys that are going to be pretty pissed that they didn't make it. But this is why it's great for talk radio and us talking off the record on who shouldn't be on there.
That's yeah, amen to that. That'll be a whole different discussion.
Hey, Dwight Howard should be on.
Dwight Howard did not make the list. That's literally
the one that was like, dude, don't realize Orlando Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
was a monster.
Was a monster. He was a beast, man. I told people, people miss them folks that weren't connected to the game didn't know how Dwight Howard moved the league in several different directions when he was the top player. And yeah, they miss it, but that's okay. We're here to tell them. Ev, thank you, brother. Have a great weekend. I'll reach out this weekend.
All right. Talk to you guys.
Everett Gray, UNLV, NBA, all around good dude. We'll throw the break. Come back more. We'll do the final segment of one-on-one when we get back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Regular season football will come to an end this week as teams make one last push for seeding. On Thursday, Lincoln High couldn't get their offense going as they fell to Bellevue West 48-6. Lincoln Southwest ended the season on a positive note, beating Omaha Central in a close game 24-20. Lincoln North Star was held to one score as they lost to Omaha North 42-7. In volleyball on Thursday, Lincoln Southwest won the Heartland Athletic Conference Championship over Pius. They came out strong and swept Pius in 3 sets. Shaylee Myers had a strong game with 17 kills for the Silverhawks. Volleyball playoffs take off on Monday, and Southwest will host the winner of Lincoln Southeast and Omaha Bryan. On Friday, the cross-country championship will take place at the Kearney Country Club for all classes. Gabe Hinrichs from Elkhorn South will be the favorite runner for Class A boys as he has yet to lose a race this season. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, I saw on television you have more than 500 new Hondas in stock or on the way. Now, I'm sure the listeners would like to hear more about that.
Well, Charlie, it's true. We have truckloads of new Hondas arriving just about every day. What's different is you won't see them on the lot very long because most all of them are pre-sold. And that's what we're encouraging all of our customers to do is get in here, get their order in as soon as possible.
Well, tell me, Andy, will they have to wait long?
Not really. It could be a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but not long at all. So I really invite everyone to come on out and experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Thank you, Andy. Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Take your tan to the max at Max Tan and tan for a can every day through the month of October. Bring in a can of food for the food bank and get a free tan from Max Tan. See maxtan.net for details. Tan for a can every day in October, only at Max Tan.
Back to One-on-One with DP, presented by Beatrice Bakery on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment of One-on-One. Again, we thank Everett Gray for coming in and adding to, just some different thoughts on how quality programs operate. And again, a very similar situation where a former blue blood program is now struggling. And there are ways to get out of it and ways to get through it. From my phone, folks heard the conversation about Dwight Howard being the face of the league. You literally can Google Dwight Howard, the official face of the NBA, and it comes up to you. And then what also comes up is, well, not long ago, Dwight Howard was the face of the NBA, and there was a stretch where that's what happened. Also from the text line, Starter Hammond text line, question was asked: we can get a Florida kid to commit, but we can't keep them on campus. What do we need to do to fix that? Oh, that's a deep, dark space. That's a deep, dark space that we'll go into. Okay. 1, how you get Florida players. 2, what you promise Florida players. 3, what you actually follow through with those Florida players. And then 4, the development and promotion of said Florida players. And if you can't do those things, and that's a Florida thing, that's a Texas thing, that's a California thing, I might even throw Chicago into that. And if you'll notice the difference between basketball being able to recruit a Chicago hub versus football being able to recruit a Chicago hub. Like there's a difference between that. Chicago, Texas, Florida are the main. Georgia's really good for certain player types. A lot of productive quarterbacks coming out of those spaces, skill position guys, big guys. You go to the Midwest and get your space. You can also get your claws into the Polynesian coaching community, because there's a lot of guys on both sides of the ball who could fit into what you do if you commit to them and their families that you're going to take care of them when they get here. And that's the big part of it. It's one thing to get somebody here. It's another thing to get them to stay and be happy here. But that comes across. You have to be a person of your word in how you deal with people. Give them what they want. Now, a lot of people don't want to compete, but that's okay. If you have numbers, that usually takes care of itself. As Everett said, Tark would tell him, "Oh, you don't like what we're asking you to do. You can just transfer." Why? Because he knew what he offered. He had history on his side. Like he had points of reference. Like, oh, look at all the NBA dudes all the first round NBA dudes that I made. That's not the case here. Also from the text line, why couldn't they go to the tournament? They had some infractions that had to be dealt with. It was Vegas in the 90s, and they were the top program in the country with the top players. In Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, like that place. And while the university is on campus, it has its own space. The Strip is the Strip, and it is magnetic, and it draws people to it. So there are things that happen in that space with casinos and such. So they got smacked on the hand. No, UNLV, don't do that anymore. And that was the end of a run, because behind that, they then had to remove Jerry Tarkanian, and the program went down. And there's never been that since. Even when they had Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi was there and then said, "I'm going to San Diego State." Whoops, out the door. So, a lot to that. Top of the hour. I'm going to be here until 5 o'clock. That means that Old School is next. Stay tuned.